How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Outland Harry. And on today's episode, I kind of want to show you Bandit, my 1995 camperized E150. So we'll start with the interior and then we'll work our way to the exterior. Alright guys, just coming to the inside of this thing, the first thing we are going to look at is this solid structured plywood bed frame. It holds a full-size bed mattress, which is 54 inches by 75 inches long. It will definitely comfortably sleep two full-size people and maybe a pet. All right, moving along to my favorite part of the bed are the cup holders. Now these are just cheap Amazon plastic inserts that I just hole saw through the bed frame and put those plastic inserts in to hold any kind of beverages that you may have. All right, around the bed area, the cabinets, cupboards, whatever you want to call them, this one is cool. Just above your bed, you can put some personal items in there, whatever you feel like. I don't personally use it that much. And then on the sides here, I made some custom ones in the bed frame that hold pretty much everything that I use on the daily while I'm camping, like lights, charge cords, first aid kit, anything kind of that you need at hand that's easily accessible. That's my go-to because they're easy to get at from any part of the van. Okay, moving along to the cabinets just below the bed here. Now these two generally hold any clothing or duffel bags, some extra shoes, towels, any kind of item like that that you might need to access fairly quickly or on the regular. Now with this cabinet here, the inverter is in here along with some other wiring that goes along the whole vehicle. So I generally just store electronics in it, like my laptop or camera gear or cell phones. Anything that's electronic based that's somewhat sensitive, I just kind of just leave it there. Now on the same cabinet, obviously, like I said, this is the inverter. This is the front of it. I did cut it out to fit it. It is fairly new. I haven't had time to make a proper faceplate and covering for it, which I plan to do fairly soon here. It is a 1200 watt pure sine wave inverter. Now I just want to quickly mention the floor here. It is not a tongue and groove click and lock system. It is a solid sheet of vinyl that goes from the back of the seats all the way to the very back end of the van. It being a solid sheet and being glued directly to the plywood will give it a lot more resistance to vibration, and obviously if you spill any water or drinks in there, it is fully waterproof. Okay, moving on to this Chinese diesel heater for $225 on Amazon. That is Canadian pricing, by the way. I absolutely love this thing. It is a rock star. I've had it for half a year now and it has caused me zero issues. Everybody has their opinion on it. This was just a cheap option, and for me it works very well. I did do a few different things, like right here I ran extra exhaust pipe down the frame tying into the stock exhaust of the actual muffler system of the vehicle, which is definitely a lot safer because if your exhaust from your vehicle comes out of there, ending there for the diesel heater side is great as well. This is the extra tank that I ordered, which is 5 liters, and I built a custom bracket to hold it in the engine bay because I did not want the diesel tank inside the vehicle, and this is the option I was left with. Now, this is a 5 liter tank and it will last 2 days. That's pretty much 2 nights running 12 hours fully, and after that I just bring a jerry can to top it off. But it is a good system and it works very well for me. If you guys want to see a video on how I did that whole setup, please comment below and I will do a solo video on exactly how I did this. Okay, coming along the front side here, you will see my absolutely sweet Realtree steering wheel cover. Really not important, just want to point it out. There being the passenger seat, which swivels 180, which is great for enjoying lots of things. As you can see, all the glass in this van, you can get a view almost 360 degrees. Or if you just want to open up the side doors and take a look through that because it's rainy and ugly outside and you don't really want to get out of the van and finish your coffee, this is just a great option. Okay, coming in through the back here, the 2 backlights, the bottom storage area, which I'll get into a little bit more. Those 2 backlights are great for opening up the back doors and seeing out the back / reading lights, and they also have charge ports in them to charge your phones, as the center light obviously does one thing. In the center of the vehicle, it gives you all the light, so if you want to enter or exit the vehicle or cook something or simply boil coffee there on that kitchen cabinet table, it is perfect for that. Okay, coming back to the under storage of the bed, this is a great area to store your bulkier items like your totes and bins and anything big and bulky. Obviously your water storage, put it underneath here. Now in the wheel wells, there was some dead void space from the framework. I did cut those out and use that space to store air pumps and, you know, wheel chocks, jacks, axes, ratchet straps, anything that you could think of that should never ever leave the van. They are there and they always stay there. So that's pretty much it for the interior. As you can see, for the most part, it was a budget build, as I went off about the floor and the diesel heater, and obviously this bed frame. Plywood probably being the most expensive part, you know, if everybody's seen the price of wood lately. Being a welder by trade, I custom made brackets for this swivel mount, and I had these chairs donated to me from a friend who had a Grand Caravan who was just stripping it to use it as a work van. So I got these chairs for free, and I managed to weld up some brackets and attach it safely. So that was a plus, and those cost me nothing other than having to drive about 2 hours to get them. So that was nice. I don't think I would have had them if it weren't for that opportunity, because those brackets are quite expensive and I don't know if I'll even really use it a lot. But anyways, yeah, why don't we go on to the exterior and I'll show you guys that. Okay, I'm sorry. I may have got a little too ahead of myself. Why don't we slow it down here and then go into some finer detail about this exterior. Alright, starting with the most obvious thing on the exterior of the vehicle, which would be the roof rack. Now, this bad boy spans 12 feet long and is about 4.5 feet wide. I made it this big, obviously, because I wanted a lot of storage. I do put my little plastic boat up there. I made it all in my shop out of aluminum. I painted it myself and installed it myself. Being aluminum, it's very lightweight, it's very versatile, and it will never rust. Is it the prettiest thing in the world? No. But is it functional? Yes. Very functional. I'm very happy with it. I don't think I'd change anything about it. Coming off the roof rack is this beautiful custom ladder that I made that is also constructed out of aluminum. It was all, once again, out of scraps. I did have to acquire a bender, and in my budget it was not a very expensive one. It was probably $100 Canadian. As you can see here, the bends do match the profile. It did take a lot of work to do that, but with the overall result, I thought it turned out great. I didn't make it too wide, so when you're looking through the windows inside of the van, you don't see the rails. I am very happy with the final product, and I think it's very strong and very functional. As for exterior lighting, I have mounted four 4x2 inch LED lights on the roof rack. Here you can see that they are mounted on the passenger side. When you open up the barn doors, you now will have illumination when it's dark out, or if you're simply setting up camp. This is amazing. It's great to have. I've also set up two in the rear, so when you open up the back lights, or if you're backing up in the dark, you can also turn these things on. They'll help and assist with that. These are great options to have. Now on the front side here, I do have a 32-inch light bar, which is great for driving down the backcountry roads when it's dark out and you're just trying to find your camp spot. It even helps with setting up certain things at camp depending on how your vehicle is positioned. I highly recommend these. I would just suggest you do not use these in the city. So that's it, guys. That is everything. That is the inside interior build. Hopefully I did a good enough job of explaining everything in there. If you have any questions or concerns, drop them on the comments. With the exterior too, this van has been a very interesting build for me. It did take me a number of months. It was literally not in running condition when I got it, and it was, I think it was $1,200 Canadian that I bought it for. And then since then, I have done a ton to it. And pause. Let's just go over a couple of the basic things that I had to do to get this thing to run. Because it sat for 8 years, I had to do the fuel pump, and then I had to put new batteries in it, and then I had to put a new starter in it, and then I had to put a new alternator into it, and then a thermostat and water pump. Now this was the basics of basics just to get it going. There was more work from there. Once I started driving it, I discovered the brakes and bearings were all gone, so that was just more work, time, and money. I'll go over that in another video if you guys want to see that. I'm very happy with where it's at right now. I totally think it's fully functioning, so hopefully in the next video I get to see you outside.